Boom. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm back. I'm back. Awesome. We got it. Yay, team. Baby. We'll see. Let's go. Let's go. Have music, or at least mine. At least mine. And now let's go give this to guests. Yay. I made it back in Discord. I made it back in Discord. I mean, I don't know what happened. I think I've got an answer, and we'll talk about it in just a minute. Somebody go, let me wait until Lawrence back up. There he goes. All right. We're back. We're back, guys. It's no longer bugged. Everything's working. Everything's working. Excellent. Good times are had by all. So, how's the sound? Everything good? Something is seriously wrong with the audio. Wrong mic. All right, stand by. Could be.
Bro, your audio sounds like ass.
I know. Give me a second, man. Dude, just calm down. I literally had to reset everything.
I was just letting you know.
What the fuck is that? How does that even get selected? All right, let me see. Oh, wait. Test. There we go.
Much better.
Also, why we were getting I think we were getting an echo because the other mic was probably also picking up at the same time. I have monitors, 13. I have monitors. Just don't use them.
How many?
I've got one there and one there facing.
How many are you using right now?
For me, I don't hear me at all.
No, how many monitors are you using right now?
Oh, monitors? Oh, you're talking about actual. I have a monitor. I thought you were talking about sound monitors. I have a monitor here, a monitor there.
Why don't you get some inner ears?
I mean, I have all kinds of stuff. I just don't play with it. So I don't like the. I like to hear the sound, more or less. In the room. So I don't know. It's a weird.
You want to hear if someone sneaks up on you? I got you.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that out loud, but
I mean, that's why I always wear just one inner ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like how I can't hear if somebody's
So my Bluetooth ones have an audio enhancement, if you will, that allows you to hear what's going on around you.
Yeah.
But it also, obviously you can hear music and stuff. So it's like it's I forget what they call it, but it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. So I gave
noise canceling or ambient.
I gave everybody the link so we can get everybody back in here and have a good time. Sorry that I killed the stream, guys. I didn't realize that if I jumped off, it would kill the stream. So sorry. It is what it is. All right, guys. Cool, man. The show is good. So there's no more. It shouldn't be any echo. The sound should be great now. And awesome sauce. Awesome. Very good. Very, very good. So, Glenn, where were we? Well, actually, we're talking to Clover. But most one doesn't have the new link. I got you, bro.
I'm still working on my computer.
I don't. So I basically. So I found out what my problem was is it's gonna be like you're gonna be like, how did you even fucking think of that? But I'll tell you what my problem was. So I have a splitter for my Cat 6 that goes to this computer here, and then it goes to this little computer here. It's technically a 3-port splitter, but I only use two ports. It's lit up. It's got the lights are flashing. It's transmitting. Everything's cool. But I don't know. I just was like, let me just plug this thing in direct, and all of a sudden it was like we were back off to the races. So obviously there was a problem. John Mosman, how are you, sir?
Good. Kind of had a nice little. We were live, and then I'm like, it went away, and I was like, well, it says live on here, and Sarah's like, no, it's
Yeah. So
it's like, yeah.
yeah. So if I had, I can I can close what I should have done is I should have entered on my phone and then closed
Oh,
my
gotcha.
computer down, and that would have left it up. But
Yeah.
I was
So it's kind of interesting that it closes like that. That's maybe something where they need to take a page from StreamYard as well. But at the same time, I've seen people like, did you see a couple of, what was it, last week or a week and a half ago when JS Urban Adventures, his, for some reason the stream came on and it was just
hey,
to share for
Michelle
like
is
12
here.
hours.
Good to see you, Michelle. Michelle, good to see you. I'm glad you haven't been around much. I was a little concerned about you, but good to see you out there.
I keep her working like a slave. That's why.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know what she's doing. She's not even supposed to have free time right now. She has work to do. The hell is she doing in here?
I know. Mosma, what do you think about this this deal with the 28th nonsense?
28th, could you?
28th Amendment.
Oh,
Proposed in 1972. Was supposed to be the deadline for ratification was 1979. It was extended to 1982. It was just ratified technically in
is this supposed to be the Equal Rights Amendment or whatever they called it?
Yeah.
What they call it? Yeah.
This is the Equal Rights Amendment, which, by the way, it's so poorly defined.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That it's kind of nuts, to be honest.
Well, and again, the problem, and a lot of amendments have done this since the Bill of Rights, but people forget when they're talking about the Constitution, the whole idea of the Constitution is not fundamental rights given to you as an American citizen. That's what everybody thinks it means.
Mm-hmm.
But it means your fundamental rights as in regards to like government, meaning government cannot impose on your free speech, your religion, your choice. Yeah. It's about limiting government on what it can do with its citizens. And so this idea of, and that's why like the whole Roe v. Wade thing was such a bad thing, because it established a precedent of establishing a right, or actually what it really was a special privilege regarded as a right for people to do things that had nothing to do with government, that had nothing to do with how it, within the context of what their government should do. And of course, ever since then, even before that, but the 70s was really this huge beginning of a lot of this stuff. So it's a problem because the government's not supposed to be putting rights on like what you have when it comes to certain engagements with people in society. Like the government should make a constitution that says Glenn Lawrence can never mock me for being an ugly person.
Well, he certainly will mock you for sure.
Well, that's his right.
I would break that law every day.
He will for sure mock you. He's going to mock everyone, actually.
Right.
The interesting thing about the 28th is it's so poorly defined that I can claim that you're all discriminating against me right now, right this minute, because you don't even know what gender I am. You've not asked me.
I don't have to ask you.
That's
I
true.
see the Adam's apple.
Yeah. I see what you did there. That was great. So yeah, it's Biden, honestly, so people were pissed at Trump for this is gonna be good. People were all pissy at Trump because he wanted an accurate count, and he felt like he was kind of owed an accurate count, and whether or not he got it is up for debate constantly in our sphere. It seems like Biden's going the other way and literally trying to like wreck everything before he leaves office. It's literally like watching a movie, like a National Lampoon's Rage Quit The Office movie, where they just go through and smash guitars and use golf clubs to smash all the computers and just spend all get on Amazon and order one of everything on Amazon delivered to everyone in the world, and just all of the things to tank the company, or in this case the country. What do you think about that, Mosman? Do you think that's what we're seeing here? Do you think that's Biden's goal, is to just absolutely destroy everything?
Part of it, but I don't know if we can speak to his intent in that regard of like, yeah, that's exactly what his intent is. I think a lot of it comes from the fact that, so there's a couple of things I think about Biden's tenure as president. One, it was definitely about securing and protecting the interests that he created while he was both a senator and a vice president, particularly with his dealings with his son through Ukraine and China. So it was definitely had that. I would definitely say that was a selfish thing there that was built on that kind of thing. But I think the other thing too is that he probably, again, there's as a belief probably that we got to do this all now, because if we don't, somehow we'll never get this right. And this is kind of the thing the Democrats repeat all the time, which is why they got pissed off at Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was for the longest time a hero to a lot of Democrats and a lot of people on the left, because they wanted her to resign before Trump came in and all that. So it's the same thing with like them trying to make Washington, D.C. a state. It's all about what in the moment their means are. And that's why they will sometimes be hypocritical about what they want to do. So I think it's just all about self-interest at this point. And any kind of concern for the country or with the well-being of the country, I don't think that's there. I mean, obviously, you can't look at some of the things he's done and say that that's been his intent the entire time. But yeah, whether he's specifically going, no, I want to do this. Now, I do wonder how much more he can do, but this finally we only have a couple of more days, but a lot could be done in a couple of days, as proven by his first couple of days within office. So,
yeah, for sure. All right, so with that in mind, right? Where do you think? Where do you think the Democrats are going to lean to when everything else starts kind of going sideways?
You mean like a presidential candidate?
Things are already sideways. They're just going to double down.
You think that, but that's the thing, is I'm not sure that they have room to double down. They've doubled down so far. You can only sink so low, so they tell me.
They don't have room to double down further, but they're going to double down. And they're going to push the right more left.
$5 comes in from Kronos 420. If Biden really want to outlaw smoking cigarette, I will be slapping without contract and lose Slapaho next time. We know won't be prohibition times crazy. Yeah, could be. So that actually... It's actually good. I mean, actually, it's weird, but that's kind of a solid point. I mean, Biden's just going full out. Well, and we don't know that it's Biden himself. It's obviously at this point, I think it's just the handlers and the people behind the scenes. So let's actually get away from politics for a moment. Sarah has joined us once again.
Yeah, I've only got about like 10 minutes now because I'm kicking off with Flo here in a little bit.
Oh, great.
But But yeah, I was hoping to actually.
You're gonna have a DJ in hours. What you telling me?
It's gonna be a DJ in a few hours. But I was hoping to come and sit and chill before we kick that off. But technology sucks. It's good.
Flo will have technology problems too. It's okay.
I doubt that.
Yeah, actually, Flo seems to have his stuff pretty nailed down. He's probably got both flashlights working and the string and the cups and all that.
You're so right.
So Sarah, it's interesting. I think as I look back, because by the way, my phone reminded me that it had been a year since my first actual show on this channel, so I thought that was great.
Yay!
It was like yesterday, I think, so that was cool. And so a year in, I've realized a lot of things, and it's unfortunate Flo is going to start his own show because he's been a big part of this year, and he deserves recognition for all of the things that
bromance
that he has shown me. Glenn, obviously, Glenn and I have become quite good friends, and Mosman, I like Mosman a lot. So it's fitting that everyone's here tonight, and I really appreciate it from everybody. I was just going to kind of do, not necessarily, now that I've got my computer problems resolved and I've calmed down and I don't want to smash anything or anyone. And it occurs to me that I now understand how at least this corner of the streaming world at least works. I may not agree with it. I may not go along with it all the time, but I understand how it works. And so I'm very interested I was really interested in getting especially Sarah's take on some of the topics that we'll dive into, but that's okay. If you have to go, you have to go. We'll just start, and then you contribute as much as you can.
That's fair.
So I started off with believing that I needed a co-host to kind of balance me out. I still think that I just haven't found the right co-host yet. But I do believe that it will.
I would say you need a good co-host / producer type of thing.
Well,
I mean, kind of be able to wear both of those hats, because
I've
so
actually
much of being able to do that. It works when you could do things. For example, when I used to have a live stream on Thursday nights I did with a guy, and while and he did it off of his phone while he was on the road, and so while he would talk about issues, I would be able to pull stuff up, and then because that I think is one of the hardest things about streaming is when you're getting into things, you want to pull something up, and you see all the big guys go, "Hey, could you pull this up for me?" And they've got like a team of minions on the corner that are doing that. It's good to have someone that has those skills that could do both of those things that won't take away from what you're doing.
Yeah. So that is actually that is the thing that I'm trying to figure out right now is I do need a producer / co-host that can be on at the times I'm on and all of that sort of thing. And actually it's not just that. There's a lot more. There's some pieces that are missing to take it to that next level, and it's taken me a while to understand kind of where those pieces are, right, and why I should have those, because a lot of this stuff I just kind of do on my own. I don't really care.
I would look and see who you have had great screen energy with and often. Somebody where when the two of you are together, the crowd enjoys it, like Flow State, for instance. I know like that's kind of an obvious one. Maybe not even like having somebody co-host every night with you, but maybe like a one night a week. Like I run series, right? So the Mod Monday Throwdown, so everybody knows what to expect each night. So maybe kind of pick and point and start kind of working through that one at a time, have somebody come on one night and kind of do a dry run and see if that kind of works out. you know, kind of like having
although I do
auditions.
think a Hannity and Combs type of show with you and Flo would be
I'm
interesting to watch.
picturing more of Bo Snerdley. I'm really picturing more of a Bo Snerdley type deal.
Yeah, so that would be someone that would be more of a producer type
Yeah,
person.
more
that
of a
could,
producer.
that'd be like off screen, and they
Yeah.
could still be on the mic or whatever. But
Yeah,
they
yeah,
would-
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, have and have that dynamic, or maybe kind of maybe be on screen occasionally, but kind of still have that kind of both. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Of
Sarah?
course, I know who you're talking
She looked
about.
very lost. Bo Snerdley was
I'm a Rush
Limbaugh's
baby. What are you talking about?
producer
Wow.
slash cohort, and actually, so Limbaugh a lot of times would attribute things to Bo Snerdley that Bo never said. And he would in his earphone, he would act like Bo was talking in his earphones, and he would have a two-way conversation pretending to talk to the producer, and it gave a sense of realism. And I find that that's an interesting thing, that because it gives you to the audience that is a really great, because in their mind they're listening to a dialogue back and forth when it's really a monologue, which I think is really great. So
yeah, I mean, I would start testing the waters and see what works, what doesn't work, and how independent do you like to be? And I mean, that's a big thing to take on somebody else, because then you are accountable for them too. And you're basically leaving your show kind of in their hands at the same time, and that's a very big thing to give away.
And that does require you being able to be on the same page, or having time within your pre-production of whatever show you're doing to be able to discuss things that you want. And you got to find someone that would be willing to say, hey, okay, I'll look this stuff up, I'll give you the links here, I can pull it up if you want me to. You'd want somebody who is going to do their due diligence and trying to like research what your topic is, so they're not just talking out their butt. But
Yeah,
and it's a hard thing to find for sure, I think.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
That's an important piece, right? I need to. I really, and it's kind of one of those things where like Glenn and I talk often, and we bounce things off of each other, and that's very helpful. Glenn is too busy to really help out.
No, I'm not.
In the way that I kind of feel like I need him to help out. But we're going to work around that eventually. I think we're going to.
All lies.
Yeah. Okay. And but
fake news.
I really do. I guess the interesting thing to me is I like to have guests. I don't like to have big panels. I like to have guests. I like to have that sort of thing. I have now had a dozen or more people come to me privately and say that I should either host or moderate debates and or argue, just straight up arguments, because of my personality. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. Andrew does that. The Crucible does that. Sarah does that. There's like 10 channels that do. I'm on 2 of them, like weekly. Like I'm on the Reverie, and then I do Gibbs, and I'm like, how do I do that and that make any sense? It's just not. I don't mind moderating for sure. I think that I'm a pretty good moderator, but
it's not the platform you want to stand on.
Well, it seems saturated, right?
Maybe.
Jake Rattlesnake is moderating now, and kind of trying to aim his channel a little more towards the debate sphere.
My recommendation is to go the Joe Rogan route, and the reason I say that is because, and this is just how I feel. Like I said, I was telling Sarah this, like I do. For people who can do it well, that can host that can be able to enforce structure to that, that's such a beneficial thing. Because I've been on panels and or Discord calls that are on YouTube shows, and it's like the Wild Wild West. And it's really irritating to the audience, and it's really irritating as a person participating in the discussion. So, but I think being able to have somebody that you find and you can have a conversation with them, and then you can if you wanted to, you can open up a panel and have some questions or whatever type of thing, and you can get a little bit of that debate. But
you're not wrong, John. You're not wrong, but that's not really the way I see it kind of going. If I had to put it in a box right this minute, what I would like to do is I'd like to have conversations, even if they're slightly opposing sides, but not, we're not going to have a blood sport debate. We're not going to do anything.
Right. Exactly.
And there's a lot of that. Again, I just feel like there's a lot of people doing kind of the same thing. And, that's actually one of the reasons why I really like Flow State. Flow State does his own thing. Originally, I thought it was really boring, but, it's kind of grown on me a little bit. It's kind of like fungus.
I think if you really sit down
It's
and
kind of like a war.
Focus on the structure of what you want, the format, what you want your channel to represent. Like now I can say I'm a debate channel. Like it like grew into that. It didn't start that way. It just kind of developed. I started modding one here, one there, and then it was like, I'm going to turn this into something.
Right.
And I think somebody said in the chat, like a talk show. And you are a good talk show. I think that you could utilize some structure in some way.
Yep.
Where maybe like 30 minutes of this, that, and then whatever. But I think you've got a good direction, and I think you'll do fine with it. But I would definitely look into the talk show concept. Maybe like one night a week you do interviews, because you seem to like that. Maybe one night a week it's politics, or politic power hour at the lunchtime thing. I don't, something like that.
I do 2 daytime shows, right? So I try and stick the political, business, self-help kind of stuff. I kind of try and stick that in the daytime show. The nighttime show tends to be more like this. This tends to be more just like fairly opinionated conversation, less monologue, more people coming up, and we'll talk. Mosman and I have talked about Christian anarchist. I've had Fabian Liberty on talking about ANCAP. We're going to have him back shortly.
Yeah.
So it's and I really so this is more of a. And we get and it's okay to be degenerate to some degree in during a nighttime show, because it is about relationships.
I
have to jump. My show with Flo starting, but I'd be happy to talk that out a little more. I do have some thoughts, but
we should. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing anything different tonight. I'm just
tell Flo hi for us, Sarah.
I will. Love you guys. Bye, Glenn.
All right. Don't be weird.
I will.
Sure.
Bye.
The normal. I like what Arthur Dias says. That's good, and I'm trying to do that in my daytime show.
And figuring out what because that was one of the things I did when I first started getting back on YouTube, because I used to be on YouTube a long time ago, and then I was on D Live, and then I came back to YouTube a couple of years ago. And what brought me back to YouTube was originally doing like 1A videos, reviewing 1A videos, reviewing like hearings and all that. And I realized a couple of things while I was going through it. One, half the stuff that you see out there is manufactured, and I don't like fake. I hate it. I hate being fake.
And, that's my problem too.
And I was not going to be like manufactured clickbait. That's why I still to this day, I know I probably could be a bigger channel if I did all the clickbaity titles and did all that kind of stuff. But to me, I hate going into a video that says, this person was destroyed, and it's just them giving their opinion, and they're talking about that opinion. That's not being destroyed.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I mean, if you wanted to make a like, for example, Rob Knorr had somebody on, and he literally destroyed them last night, because it was like a 101 on debate stuff, which was really good stuff. But like, I think you got to figure out who you are, what you want, what you represent, what that means.
Well, I've spent a year figuring it out, and I agree with Sarah. Obviously, I am a more of a I do more of a calmer show.
Yeah.
It's you know, I do I have a more of an internet interview type format. I, you know, pretty much the show's kind of grown from just me raging to
Right.
let's you know, let's figure this out. Let's talk. Let's understand where you're at. And if I have to rage a little bit, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, let's get it right. You just don't like to rage on your channel. You
I don't like to
save
rage on
your
my
anger
channel.
Yeah,
management
exactly.
for everyone else's channel.
Right.
That's where you go to you do your anger management.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
Let's
funny.
just be honest.
That is,
That's
he's
funny.
right there. I've got to tell you, he's right there.
Well, you know, so what it's interesting is that I have raged on this channel and I don't have a problem. The problem is that what happens if you it doesn't make it special when I go to the other channels if I do everything the same as I do here, and vice
Well,
versa.
and there is a difference because there is you like as the host, you have more control
Mhm.
of establishing the tenor, right? Or sometimes you go on other panels and it's like 0 to 60, and it's like you've got to bring the heat or just shut up and go down, you know, like.
Mhm.
And so that's how it is, like. And so
Well, I like it though. I
What's that?
like the
0 to 60.
I really, yeah. Michelle said grid. I like to run amok on other channels because it's not even that I'm like necessarily angry. It's just it's somebody else's mess to clean up, right? Like
Right,
it's
yeah.
literally like going to somebody else's backyard and being able to play soccer in their grass or something, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's
but
like taking a shit in your neighbor's house and then like going back home and sneaking it up over there.
And then inviting them, Glenn, and saying, "See how my
Or
house
it's like
smells so
clogging the
nicer?"
toilet while you take a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's gross, but yeah, okay. So, but I mean, it is. I mean, you know, and the other thing is that and the other part of it is I really, you know, if you just have a month, I learned a long time ago, well, actually early on in doing this, that the more drama you bring to your channel, the harder it is to maintain any semblance of control or coolness to your channel. So if
Right.
you have a bunch of guys spurging out in the chat, if people know that you're going to accept that, or you know, or whatever, then it becomes this constant, you know, you're constantly afraid that, you know, somebody's going to come in and run TOS on you and just, you know, get your channel taken down and all kinds of other shit. Which, you know, whatever. I need to come up with some catchphrases. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Some people have, you know, a couple of people have suggested some. I don't know.
And then depending on how you want to do it, because this would be my thoughts on this. So if you want to keep it free flowing, then keep it like how you have been. But if you really kind of want to make whatever stream, whatever, when you do it more like a show, then that's where you might want to incorporate things like.
This is where I've got to get with Glenn, and actually I'm going to go. I got to run really quick to. My dog is banging on my door because my son won't let the poor girl in. So I got to go let my dog in to the main house. So
me and John got it. Don't worry. We won't do
Michelle,
anything
if you want to jump
stupid.
in, and because Michelle has Michelle can put people up and down. So if Michelle wants to jump in and run the show for a few minutes, that would be great.
Does this have like the capability like how StreamYards does? Like you could be off and still throw people off or on? Like, because that'd be kind of cool to have someone like that.
Yeah, I can run it from my phone, but also I have a team. And so Michelle and
part of the team,
I'm not part of that team. Rude.
Well, not yet. Well, I did try. You were the first one, and you just never could get your email to work right or something. I don't know, but it worked for everybody else. So anyway, I'll be right.
I mean, it's someone that you trust to be able to look at the chat and make sure you know other mods or understanding. Yeah, so I get that. Trust me.
Yep. All right, I'll be right back.
So, John,
Yes.
what's up?
Oh, not much. Just I've been the last couple of days I've been watching Lord of the Rings because I usually try to do it around New Year's and I didn't do it this year, so I watching it now. So been doing that a little bit and getting ready for my show on Sunday, and I'm gonna probably piss some people off, but that's okay because people need to be pissed off sometimes.
I think I do that daily, but
You do it
mine
for
is a
good. You
goal.
do it for good, right, Glenn?
Yeah, me getting a laugh out of it is for good. Absolutely, it's for my mental health. Yes, it's for good. I do it
I
for
get
good.
that. I get that. Yeah.
You know, um, I was just earlier today. I was at the gym with my dad. I was working out with them, and we were talking about how how interesting things like times have changed. Like in our like society and age group, where it was like we were talking about like how you were very careful with what you say because it would get back to somebody and then that person would approach you because most of the people you talk about would be within like your community sphere, within like your neighborhood or town or whatever, right? So you'll eventually run past them. And it seems like now that we are in this like digital virtual world, people are careless when they speak. They just say anything, expecting that because they say anything or whatever they say is never going to be like they're never going to get that punch in the face.
They're never gonna be held accountable. They
Yep.
can make spurious claims about people, and that doesn't matter. Like they don't, and that's part of the problem with like social media and the internet is people can make assumptions or make allegations or make things about people and just say it, put it out there, and there's no expectation that like they have to prove it or that and I really do say this like um people who say sticks and stones may break my bones but hurt words will never hurt me, they're full of it. They're full of it because words can hurt people's careers. Words can be
Your
used
tongue
to
is a
manipulate
double-edged
people.
sword.
Yeah.
Your tongue is a double-edged sword, and it could either you speak life or you speak death. So you can either speak life into something or you can speak death into something.
Welcome, Michelle. How are you?
Hi,
Michelle.
good. I'm
Speaking
doing
of
well.
the Queen of Death,
Oh yeah, that's me. Suck your soul out.
But thinking about like how that was, like when you read some of the the letters of the founding fathers or just how it was in those times, when you realize just not just how hard it was to write with handwritten with a quill or some of the older pens, but also because of how expensive it was to make sure that when every word you wrote, you thought, is this the word I want to convey? When you were writing something and it was going to be delivered to someone like a couple of months later, you wanted to make sure you were understood. When these guys spoke about things, they took great care that their words conveyed the actual things that they were supposed to convey. And we've lost that ability along, not just because of technology. Obviously I think there's aspects of education that's changed that society and culture, but I this book I read by Jacques Ellul, who is one of my favorite Christian anarchists, but he's a social philosophist, and he's a philosopher, and he was talking about this idea that the more technocratic or technological a society becomes, the more our information and communication less becomes about like meaning something of the heart or the soul, and it's more about this is how you put together something. So our language has become more technical, and so there isn't thought put into it. It's just information shared, information
it's
reverbed,
more
and
like
all
just
that.
emotion shared, really.
Well,
That's how I look at it.
nowadays there's a lot of just that online. It's just people just share their emotions and their thoughts, and they think those convey arguments or conclusive statements, and they don't.
Yeah.
Michelle, what improvements do you think I should make to the channel?
I definitely like a lot of the things that I heard. Like a co-host. I think having more of a set schedule would be beneficial to you, as much as you can make it one. Because a lot of the issue about growing is actually just being somewhere where people can find you in the huge algorithm. And if you make yourself reliable, the people will come. So those are like the primary
Definitely tried
thoughts.
to do that.
Yes.
I think another thing that would be beneficial as well is, I don't know, do you do show notes, Grid?
That's
Do you
always
mean
good.
do you mean like if I
Do you know what
sit
I'm talking
down
about
and
when
I
I say
write
show
out
notes?
what I'm going the topics and whatnot I'm going to cover?
Yeah, and not just like you writing out the topics, but you kind of write out like how long you want to spend on an issue, or you
So I
you
used to
put,
do that,
yeah,
and
okay.
I think I gave that format to somebody, and I think I gave it to Joe Mobley. Which, by the way, I haven't seen him in a while. That guy better be okay. Yeah, I noticed he took his Discord down, and where he kicked me out of it, one of the two. Um, so the so I, all right. So the way that the show is supposed to go, it's a 3 hour show always. All right. So we start at noon, noon to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Or we start at 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. 3 hour show. The first show, the first like 10, 15 minutes is we just get people in. I don't really talk about anything. I don't start monologue. I try really hard to not start monologuing. Usually I'm supposed to start kind of, talking about the grift, telling people, hey, as you come in, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the, you share it, become a member if you can afford, if you feel like it, whatever. I'm supposed to grift. I never grift. I should. I don't. I know that I'm bad. I'm a bad human for not grifting appropriately. Bad
Yeah, you
human.
should also give me admin so I could set goals and grift for you.
I know. I do need to do that.
Yes.
And then so um, so the first like 10 or 15 minutes really is just bullshit. Like 10 minutes and usually no more than 10 minutes for me. And then I'll go into the opening monologue. The opening monologue is generally just where I recognize, who's here, who stands out. If somebody I haven't seen before, I try and call out, hey, I haven't seen you here, or somebody hasn't been here in a while. I haven't seen that name in a while. I'm like, hey, I'm glad to see you. Um, that's important to me. I always want to connect to my audience. Like, I don't care how big it gets. I really want to be connected because I see a lot of shows. Take whatever, for example, whatever, Brian's disconnected from his core audience, which of course, obviously, he has a million subscribers, all that kind of shit. But, um, his core audience is only about 200 people. And I can recognize 200 names generally in the chat. So, or most humans should be able to recognize that. So, at least to say, oh, I've seen you in here before. Hey, welcome, Michigan Christian. I see you come in there. So I like to recognize the people who are coming in or talking in chat. If I see something, they're saying something, I'll kind of bullshit with that for a minute. Get into that opening monologue, and that the opening monologue should be about 25 minutes. So realistically, it's going to kind of set the pace for the show. If it's high energy, if it's just going to be a nice steady flow, whatever it's going to be, that's how that should go. Introduce guest, all that kind of thing. If I have a guest here during that time, they usually just kind of sit there, maybe kind of we bounce a joke or two back or forth, and then maybe I'll tell a couple of jokes during that opening monologue, and then I want to get into either the guest or whatever topic. I really like to spend a solid hour on that first topic or talking with the guest. That puts me at about an hour 45 in the stream, right? So an hour 45, I want to start slowing the pace down. I want to start kind of maybe having a little bit more fun with the chat. I want to start involving the chat as much as I can. Get the grift start flowing again if possible. If not, that's fine. A lot of try and re-energize things, because after you've listened to someone for an hour, it may start getting circular or something like that. So, and then and usually do about 15 minutes of that. So now we're 2 hours in. We've got about an hour left. I like to do 30 minutes of kind of wrap up, and that we start from the front of the show and go all the way back, kind of just hitting key points, maybe joking. I like to have a lot of fun, or maybe just the guest will tell a story, or I will I'll say something anecdotal or whatever, for that like half hour of back and forth kind of closing, just bullshit session, right? And then the last half hour is for random comments from the chat, or or just interacting with the chat, and then the closing statements, which honestly we've had. I've had closing statements where I thought it was going to be a whole other show, like just people start talking and then just not stop, which is fine. I don't mind it. And that's kind of how the show should run. The show doesn't always run that way, but regardless of whether it's a day shift or a nighttime show, the show should always run that way. I think I put everyone to sleep. It's okay.
No, you didn't. We're just listening.
You're writing it down. I'm writing this shit down right now. I'll tell you what, that's good shit. So. No comments?
That is so mean.
No, you did your good stuff. I was thinking another thing that would be good for a lot of stuff as well would be to have elements within your show, graphics within your show, if you want, that also illustrate these things. So let me example. I was just making this while you were talking. Give me a second. Plus, I also have my wife in the back, so she's making a little noise.
Yeah, so that's...
Damn it, wife! Be quiet! Be seen, not heard.
That's actually part of what I need to work with Glenn on, are the graphics, and like, I got to be honest, man, I'm a little jealous of Flow State's bomb raid thing that he does when he gets a super chat. That thing's baller, honestly. And I don't really, normally I don't really, Flow State's just kind of just okay. But that segment's pretty good. So
can we all just acknowledge that Grid just said baller? He just said baller, you guys.
I say words, man. I use all the words in the English language.
Like stuff like that. You see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. Hey, we got Ticky Tack coming in.
And you could do like a racing sound with it and have it kind of like whoosh.
Oh, I have a lot of that stuff in StreamYard. Or not StreamYard, in Streamlabs. Let me see if I can pull some of this stuff. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Where's I think it's this one. Let me see if I do this right. Whoa. Let's see. Is that pretty cool?
Yep.
It's all right. It's not bad.
I've got some of that stuff. I just don't use it. I mean, maybe I should. I don't know.
Well, what's stopping you from using it?
I'm not particularly good at the OBS and Streamlabs interface, and so I just don't. I mean, it's not intuitive, right?
Okay.
So it needs to be intuitive. For me, ideally I would have somebody that could at least, you know, do some of this stuff, right? And plus I'm not 100% satisfied with the art. I don't, you know, yeah, I'm picky. I don't know. I'm just picky. I don't know if that helps. If that clarifies.
By the way, when
No,
I
it
made that
helps.
image,
It just sounds like you need a producer. Go
I
ahead.
know, right? I know.
Yeah,
Only I
that's
knew
what I
that.
was saying. That's what I was saying, Tiki Tac. But when I made that image, that wasn't just an image I took. I actually made that image and I composited of 3 different things. So
Oh yeah, dude. I've seen you, that clip that you made for me is really, really good. But here's what happens, John, without fail. Other than, I'm going to give Glenn a shout out here, because when Glenn has said he was going to do something or make something for me, he's always done it 100%. But I've had multiple people tell me, I'm going to make some clips for you. I really like your stuff. I know just how to clip it. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. If I get a clip from them, it's amazing. Because I'm always like, yeah, man, hey man, send me what you got. And if you need some money for it and it's good stuff, man, whatever, I'm not above paying. Right. And so, or I'll, I've had people say, hey, your art is good, but it's not that good. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I did it. Like, like I'm not an artist. I'm the opposite of an artist. So they'll say, oh yeah, I know just the thing. And that's actually part of the reasons why the t-shirts are taking so fucking long, is because I had 3 different people say they were going to help me with the artwork for the t-shirts. And I got one design that really isn't what I had talked about. And it's still cool, but it's not really what really what we had talked about. So now I'm stuck doing it. And for me, it's going to take for fucking ever. It just is. And, but at this point, I don't have any other choice, because every time somebody tells me they're going to do it, they don't do it. So the only choice I have is just do it myself.
So what you're telling me is that it's not an issue of getting people. It's getting people to follow through with doing stuff that
it's always
commit
follow
to.
through. I have, I normally have in a couple of, I would say about once a month, I'll have someone DM me or PM me and say something about how they really like the show. They really like what I have to say. They really have this great idea, great graphic concept or whatever. And I know they mean well. Look, I'm not throwing these guys under the bus. But people have lives, man. Most people honestly don't have the time that it takes to do.
Well, and the people who would have time to do that. So this is what you run into. So you either need someone that's really passionate about what Strider. Don't do this now. That's my cat. It's okay. Come here. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Is that what it is? Is that what you want? Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now you can say hi. You can say hi to Grid and everybody. Yeah.
That's a cat.
It is a cat. Yep.
I recognize one. We haven't had cats, and I haven't had cats for like 20 years because my wife hates cats.
Yeah. Yeah, you either love them or hate them. So, but so one of the things I found is that you either need to have someone that's really dedicated and passionate about what they're doing, or they need to be compensated for, and that's why I always tell people, I was telling some of my friends, like, who don't stream, like, to me, when, everyone thinks, oh, just get on and just start talking. That's not, yeah, some people can do that. There are people who are not naturally talented, and they could probably get away with it for a while, but eventually you need to put some pre-show work into your streams. And And to me, I always say for every hour of streaming I do, I usually try to put about an hour equal to that of work, right? So that cat loves me. Yes, he does. He loves me very much. And he acts like a dog, not a cat. And he knows his name. He comes to me when I call him. So all this good stuff. Yeah. Hey, no, you can't do that. No, don't do that. Anyways, but yeah, so either someone needs to have that kind of passion or they have to have, and again, it's just because there is a lot of work and, telling someone, and all these big shows that have these people that do these things, they get paid for it,
Yeah.
And so you have to be able to find someone that says, okay, I find investment, either I'll say, hey, hey, someone would be willing to do like, maybe for a certain amount of money, maybe they'll do a break, but it's kind of like when we get
Then we
bigger
run
kind
into
of
the
thing.
second problem, John.
What's that?
The problem is that I hate to ask people to do free shit.
Right, I understand that. Trust me, I hate asking people for help. Period. I think that's a guy issue, but
yeah, ask Glenn. He is absolutely offered multiple times. I'll do this for you, and I'm like, you're busy, things to do. Don't worry about
And I do it anyways, and I send it to him, and then he's happy.
Yeah. Janet.
Cat lady from the feminist, the
I think
cat lady.
I think that's
funny.
awesome. Arthur Daya calling somebody else a cat lady is hilarious. That in and of itself is humor on a level that far exceeds the price of admission.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down.
Sure, man.
But thanks for having me up, and it's good talking with you as always. I always appreciate our time, and always appreciate Glenn and Michelle, even though we don't know each other well. I appreciate everything you do for him, and appreciate being on the panel with you.
Well, that helps me roll right into my next thing that I've learned in a year on as a live streaming YouTuber is that people pocket watch, whether it's money or
I still don't even know what that term means.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of
that's a woman tactic though. Pocket watching.
You've never heard that?
Really?
That's where
that sounds like a hoe tactic right there.
It is a hoe tactic.
That's when.
Wait, are you picking up some hoe tactics from these hoes?
No, I don't know that we're using it in the same way. Pocket watching is when men worry about the way other men spend their money or their time or anything else.
And are you saying you do that, or are you saying
no? I've seen it's amazing how many people in the community do that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think I'm too self-absorbed to worry about what people are doing with their own money.
There's a benefit to being completely self-centered like Glenn. It's
well, usually those types of people who will watch your spending habits and be judgmental about it usually don't have money, or they have money problems.
Spending habits, right? Like I got it. People were always talking about how much I spent on like whatever, or how much I spent on this show, or how much whatever. Everybody's like, how much whatever. And that was weird, but it's more weird to hear people talk about. Well, Michelle's on Glenn's channel now. What a degen! How horrible!
Oh, man, that's every day. Shit.
I'm like, why do you care what Glenn's doing? Like,
because they got to shit on me so they could uplift themselves. See, they can't level up, so they have to shit on me so that it makes it seem like they look better.
And they just don't like me, and that's fair.
I just look at it as an indicator of success. Like literally, the more drama and the more attacks you get, that just means you're doing something right.
I don't feel like I have that much success. But although honestly, the number of attacks have kind of been dropping lately. So, maybe I'm losing my appeal.
Or maybe it's winter and everybody's hibernating, and we just got to
That,
wait.
or you're just not maybe you just need better haters, Grid.
I do. Did you catch that the other night when I put that in? We're talking. I think it was on Sarah's or Easy's or somewhere where that I have a lot of haters, and I was like, I need a better class of hater.
Oh, if you want haters, you should probably host Ben Thorpe. You should probably get him on the channel.
So what's interesting is that I was going on Ben Thorpe's channel for a little bit, and I just don't react in a way that is marketable, I guess. So, they don't.
Not your audience.
Yeah, I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm not their target. I'm not a good target for them. So, old Joe, were I attacked when I first started? Yeah, absolutely. People told me that, or the number one thing that I got asked this time last year was, how can you spend so much money on a degenerate show like whatever? I'm like, well, I got to say what I wanted to say. So, it was worth it.
It's not that much of a degenerate show. It's like it has degenerates, but most of the time it's picking out like the bad things that degenerates do.
Yeah. And then, that was pretty much the number one. And then, a couple of people came at me because they just like drama, and that was fine. So, and I had Josie on. Josie being the co-host to start with, was pretty polarizing for whatever reason. People just love her or hate her. And I honestly, I got to be, just in total honesty, I think Josie's like one of the nicest, kindest people that you would meet. I know that she comes off mean and she comes off gruff and all of that, but I've really observed that she is a really good human being. So
Josie is one of the nicest people.
Yeah,
it's like you're lucky if Josie considers you a friend. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I think
because she doesn't let a lot of people in, and two, like she has a wall up, and if she lets you pass that wall, she will go to bat for you over anything. She will, like, when during the fires, like she's like, hey, if you or your loved ones need a place to stay, we have the 2 extra rooms here. You guys are more than welcome to stay here with us. We're away from the fire. Like, she really is sweet. Like, her and her boyfriend, have invited me over for every holiday, meal. And they're great. They're a great couple, and she is exactly what you're saying. She's a really nice person.
Yeah, I think she's polarizing, obviously, because she uses her language can be very interesting at times, and she does have definite lines in the sand, like, period. Like, like, if you are on this side of the line, she has 0 fucks to give. And you know what? That's admirable, to be honest. It's admirable. And the only negative thing I could say about Josie, after my year of, kind of being out here in the space, and she was on the show to start with. She helped me start. She's actually the reason why I started the show. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Mm-mm. So I started hanging out in the Whatever Discord. Oh, I got invited into the Whatever Discord. And obviously Josie was in there. And we would get into VC sometimes. And initially I didn't care that much for VC. But we were doing a voice chat one day, and I started talking about, I was telling a story about something or the other that had to do with racing or cars or something. And literally, like, everybody was dead quiet. and Josie's like, you have a really good way of speaking and voice. You should be on YouTube. Like, people would really listen to like everything you say. It's really impressive. She's like, I'm actually blown away by it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I was like, well, I was doing a channel with airplane stuff, but it was too tedious. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. And so, but yeah, she's the one that actually kind of talked me into, or pushed me a little bit into starting the channel. And she did a lot of the behind the scenes work. Like, the reason I have an IMDb is because Josie set it up. The reason that the show, I don't know if it still does, but it used to hit on, what's that iTunes thing? I guess it is iTunes, and what's it? There's another one, not Pandora. But it doesn't matter.
There's like Sono. There's
sorry.
There's Sono. There's Apple Music. There's
Apple Music, and there's a Spotify.
Spotify. There it is.
Yeah, if you're on, so the reason the show used to show up on Spotify and Apple Tunes was because of her. She set the whole thing up. So the only problem that Josie and I had is she would do things in a way that really pissed me off, because I have a very specific way that I do things, and Josie has her way of doing things, and we just were like, and she would say and do shit that would really piss me off too. So, and that's okay to a point. But I can never stay mad at Josie, because she's such a good human being, and she really doesn't mean to piss you off, unless she tells you that she means to piss you off. It's just who she is. So, but yeah, Josie's cool. And then after Josie, it was Kat. Kat was the co-host, and Kat and I never really had like any kind of real chemistry. I don't think, it wasn't really like, she just sat there a lot, and I had to drag her into the conversation. So, because I don't think she really cares. She doesn't care anything about politics. She doesn't care anything about most of what we talk about here. So, she did as well as she could. And then she was scared to death of Andrew. I mean, absolutely, just like Andrew would pop in and literally,
she's like, nope, out of here.
Literally, yeah. She would either run or just shut down and just be completely quiet.
Yeah, you got to be able to like hang here, because like he might just like drop in and then test out everything that you just fucking said. And if you're not on your P's and Q's about it, it happened to me. It fucking happened to me.
I think that was like the second time you'd been in the show too. That was funny.
It was, yeah, it was very early, very early.
That was funny. Yeah. So let's see what we got here. I haven't been reading. Josie's just, sometimes she just doesn't really, she gets caught up and she doesn't think. Andrew, so when Andrew first went on whatever, I didn't like him. I was like, this dude sucks. He's terrible. He's just sitting there. And I realize now that what he was really doing was calibrating how much alcohol he was going to have to consume to get through a show with these dumb bitches.
Yeah.
and that's and since then he's been great. Like he just needed to figure out, okay, I need X amount of beer per hour to be able
right.
To
he like pounds like 2 shots before the show starts to get him like going and like get him in a good enough mood, and then like he systematically.
Because otherwise he just tears them apart.
Right.
Like, otherwise you've got to be able to do that. Yeah, Andrew is the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
So Andrew was the second reason that I started the stream, really, because I would go in the Crucible and Andrew would like just be there chatting, just hanging out. And we started talking quite a little bit. And he used to pop in a lot. He's too busy now, obviously, to pop in nearly as much. But we still talk on the phone. We still talk, just randomly. He's a super cool dude, and he's, anything he needs from me that I can help him with, he's got it. So that's because there was no reason for him to help me. When I told him I was starting the stream, he's like, "Hey, do you know what you're doing?" And I said, "No, I got no fucking clue. Like, I don't know anything about cameras. I don't know anything about sound. I don't know anything about microphones. I don't know anything about anything." I talked to Brian, and Brian's just like, "Go buy this stuff." And it's like, and I did actually. I went and bought the Shure M7B that Brian recommended. It's a great mic. I don't like it as much as I like this Rode pod mic that I'm using now. And and it was just like a
Hey,
you
great.
know,
I'm going to bounce out and run to Best Buy before they close.
yeah, go to Best Buy, man.
All right. Peace.
And
See you later.
And so Andrew, like I talked to Andrew. I'm like, "Hey man, do you have any recommendations for me starting this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he spent like 10 or 15 minutes with me, and he's like, "Hey, you should talk. I'm going to have you talk to my guys." He's like, "Get Mr. E." He said, "Hey, what I want you to do is tell Mr. E that I said it's okay for you to post links to your videos and ask for feedback from the Crucible." I got pretty good feedback from the Crucible. And he said, "And now I'm going to have this guy talk to you about your sound and lights and everything, because your sound and lights suck." He's like, "I watch your show. Your delivery's good. Talking's good. All that stuff's good, but your lighting sucks. Your camera sucks. Your sound sucks. Everything sucks." Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And so Mr. E and this other guy helped me for free. Like, I fully expected them to like charge me, because they get paid to do that shit. And because Andrew told them to help me, they did it for free. So Andrew had no reason to help me whatsoever, and he did. And I have a philosophy that I do that in life, right? Like, I really try and help people. If you come to me with a problem and I can help you, doesn't hurt me to help you. It doesn't, it's not going to put me in the poorhouse. It's not going to, whatever. If I can help you out, I'll do my best to help you out. I may not be able to, I may not have the time. I may not be in the right position. I mean, there are reasons that I don't help everybody on the planet, but people have helped me, and you must you must return that favor. And
my experience, I've had nothing but great experiences with Mr. E and Andrew. Mr. E and I are always chatting, and we're always like exchanging ideas, helping each other out on stuff. Like, he asked me stuff about like website ideas, streaming ideas, things on a more technical side, and how to improve. And I've asked him about like audio stuff, how to improve my like audio and like broadcasting stuff. But for Andrew, where I came to notice like how nice he is that he describes himself that he matches energy, and that's true. But I think that a lot of people misinterpret what he says, in that he matches energy on like an emotional level, where it's like if you get angry at him, he gets angry at you. It's like, no, that's not really what's going on. He has a bullshit meter. And if he recognizes that you're dealing bullshit, he'll deal bullshit right back at you, and he'll play with you like you're a joke. Whereas if you actually come off as genuine, even though you're frustrating to deal with to get a point, there's so many times where he's been on Discords with really frustrating people, but he's been calm and just try to walk them through in different analogies, because he understands those people are not bullshitting. They're just experiencing a bit of cognitive dissonance for the moment, or are being challenged on their worldview, and probably hasn't been before. I think the best example to really understand is the debate with President Sunday. It's like Andrew initially came out to challenge President Sunday on like some of his more degenerate takes on life, on like morality and stuff. But President Sunday was immediately just able to like concede on those points, which is like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like I don't spouse against on any of this. And it eventually turned into more of a discussion than a debate, because he realized that, oh, it's like President Sunday is just, this is who he is, and this is just what he believes, and he will bite the bullets on the things that he's considered before. Yeah, he's a very patient guy, and people don't give him enough credit.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. Actually, I think it's pretty. It should be pretty clear to everybody by now that Andrew's really, really patient. Pardon me, but Andrew's really, but he does have, a breaking point just like everybody else, and he's not going to put up with garbage and nonsense just like anybody else wouldn't. And like overall, I think Andrew's pretty solid dude. And like I said, he if he hadn't have helped me, my show would have not nearly been as good as it is even now. Like I'm still working every day. I try and refine it every single day to do something.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit on that. So, are you trying to attract a different demographic?
Give me 1 second. Sure. Chaotic Truth, good to see you out there, man. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate that. I haven't seen you out in the chat for a while, so glad to see you here, man. If you want to jump up for a minute, we'll get you up. We'll post a link in the chat for you so you can just click and come on up. Tiki Tack. So am I trying to change?
Or even just attract a different demographic?
I would like to expand into different demographics. So just candidly, I feel like that while a lot of what I say appeals to young men, and it should be just as interesting to women. But we're maybe a 10% ratio male to female here. And maybe
sounds pretty normal for at least your type of stream.
Right. It is pretty normal, but then I look at like Flow State, and Flow State runs much higher. And the there's, I don't know, like there's other channels in this space that kind of cover the same sort of stuff that have a better mix. And I think part of it is initially I had some of my audience was not anti-women, but they were tough on the women that came in and didn't necessarily make them feel comfortable being part of the show. And I don't have a female co-host anymore. When I had a female co-host, it seemed like I had more women coming through. But now I don't. And now it seems to be going back the other direction. And that's, to be honest with you, that's, I'm not saying I want to sacrifice my male audience to gain more female audience. I'm saying that what I have to say is equally valuable to men and women. Why is it that what is it that is not attracting women to the show?
Well,
do I need more female guests? Do I need to, have a female co-host on every show? Do I need to, what's the not magic bullet, but what are the things that do not detract from the show, that add to the show, and will have and not lose male audience, except for the black pillars, which I don't care about. And
well, I think it is about getting more female guests on for your particular case. I think for somebody like Flow State, I think for Flow State, he has a little bit of that charm that kind of like attractive appeal, and I think that's what maybe keeps women around a little bit more.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
And is like
there's a
humorous attitude.
demographic of so women. So I use Flow State as an example. He's kind of a bad example because he's a little bit of a degenerate and he's flirty and all of the things I am not.
Yeah.
So which is, but I'm just using it just strictly from a number game, right? Like the audience is different. I know that it's always going to be heavily male biased. I talk about politics. There's a lot of women who don't care about politics or don't want to be known that they talk about politics or whatever. And I get that. At the same time, I think it's vitally important that we have a better more exposure to women. I don't know. What do you think, Michelle? You're a girl, I think, still. I don't know.
That can't be confirmed. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't. I am just a avatar on the screen.
That's
You
right.
could not know that. I could be anybody, really, with a voice changer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually kind of agree with what old Joe said here in the chat, that your audience is different.
It is.
And that you're just going to appeal to a different type of content, a different type of audience. And I think now is like the best time to really dig into it, especially like this in this coming year in 2025. I could tell you that I am seeing a big push for authenticity from the creators. We are going to see more honest reactions to manufactured things. Okay. Yeah. Instead of manufactured emotion to honest things, it's going to flip. So if you're going to play in 2025 on YouTube, you better be ready to be yourself, because all of the characters are going to get dragged out.
Well, another thing is short form content is actually trending a little bit downward over the past 2024. It's
right.
It's not holding up to steam as it used to.
Correct. Yes, that's very true.
And they're dragging they're dragging TikTok right now. They're getting drugged.
Yes. It's kind of being seen for what it is, as like a low value insta hit of entertainment, and people are wanting a bit more depth, and more learning. And Glenn and I are actually covering this. And I know that Andrew has talked about it, but there is a move to more of like the Orthodox and more traditional churches. And it is kind of because of the same reason, where, it's a lot of feelings and not as many facts or logic to go along with it. And there is just a general push for that in all aspects.
So wrongful rage coming in. Wait, what'd I do? I made a mistake. Where's my... There it is. Sorry, I had the wrong button. Wrongful rage coming in $9.99. Patience and humility go hand in hand. And favors done are favors owed. Honor thy word, and the deeds done by them will be your burden alone. I like that a lot, actually. That's really good. Like that. Thank you for the $9.99. I really appreciate it, Wrongful Rage, and I'm glad to read that one out loud. That was great. So I agree with you, and when I say that, I'm trying to, I guess I should make it clear that I have no interest at all in changing me to attract more female audience.
Yeah, that would be bad to do.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. I don't do that for anything. I am who I am. It's the way it is. Whatever. But it's not mutually exclusive that I can't be me and we can't improve the number of females that watch a show, because I think it's vitally important for men and women to hear some of these things said, if not by me, then by somebody else. And I have trolled the female space, and I have to be honest with you, it's bleak out there, guys. It's bleak.
Well, here's another thing to consider is that right now you're looking for growth on your channel.
Yeah.
So what would you rather do? Take a risk in trying to attract women by shifting the way that you do your show, or attract the type of audience that you're already attracting and just go with the flow for a year and just develop more numbers?
I'm gonna pull the why not both thing and say that again, I don't want to change what I'm doing. I don't want to change the format, but there's something to it that females felt less comfortable here, and now they feel more they feel more comfortable again, and there's something there that changed, and
Well,
there's
they saw you interact with more females like myself and Atherdia
right.
and more often. And so they got to see very good examples of interactions with you and other females and not just like, people getting talked down to. The thing about like the Whatever podcast, it's so huge because it is a show and people all have a motive of being there. With you,
Mhm.
you are trying to have an honest conversation. It is not the same tier type of content. So I really think that you just need to dig into what you're doing, and just make it easier for yourself to dig into what you're doing. So a lot of that has to do with logistical work, and also your outreach needs to continue, and keep putting yourself out there.
I agree with all those things.
Hmm.
I I I agree. We got rid of the creepers in the chat. That helps.
Yes.
Um, I have you on. I have Sarah on. I have Josie on when she's around. I haven't seen her in a while. Kat was on yesterday. Um, so I I feel like that it should be a welcoming space. I'm not going to say that we're going to change. We're going to start talking about knitting lace doilies or anything,
Mhm.
but it needs to be um, it doesn't need to be off limits. This does not need to be a male only zone, is what I'm saying. So, but it
Yeah.
is a male space. You understand? I mean, there's a difference there, right? Like, it's a male space because we talk about male things from a male perspective. Even when I have a female co-host, I'm not. I may agree with what you're saying, but that doesn't mean that I am taking the feminine stance on it, right?
Right.
Well, I think your only route is to have more women on the panels
Yeah,
and as like co-hosts, as actual guests that you're interviewing. I
sure.
think that's pretty much the only option. Well, maybe it's not the only option, but I think that's the only clear option at this moment.
Crow Nick, you're right. I'm going to be honest with you. We absolutely got rid of all the simps. I mean, we just and not in a mean, hateful way. It's just we just got rid of them. Um, so, but that's but overall growth. I think overall growth needs to come from out. All right, so let me kind of move back. I didn't actually expect to spend so much time on the female issue, but that's great that we did. Um, I'm looking outside of the crucible. I'm looking outside of whatever. Like I'm trying very hard to have this YouTuber named Emma, who is a reaction YouTuber, all about drama. I think she might be English or somewhere. She may be Canadian. I don't know, but anyway, she's. I think she might be in England, and so she's funny, I guess, and I think she'll be a great guest on the show. It's been very hard to try and get her scheduled because obviously she has a show that she likes to do.
Do you need a headhunter?
I,
Like somebody that'll just go out and find you people?
Well, so Siege D actually kind of does that, and Michelle has done that for me. Michelle has been when Michelle has time, she's a very busy lady. She has been very successful, not just for me, but for Glenn and other people at getting at headhunting people and getting them on. But I'm always looking for headhunters. I'm always looking for people who will go out or just, to be honest, and I should say this every show. If you guys watching the show, if you see somebody, especially a small channel that's saying good shit or whatever, if you see something that's really interesting, bring them over. Have them, tell them, tell me about them. Make the connection, because I may not see I don't live on YouTube. And so I may not see a channel. I only saw this Emma lady because she came up. She was the only person live one night. The Michigan Christian just hit up the mods, and they'll give you a link. It's not open panel, but it's pretty open panel tonight. But no, you're right. I do need a headhunter. So if I were to put together a team right now, what my team would look like is I need a producer / artist kind of person, or co-host, somebody that can be involved in the show, but still peripheral enough to be able to, come up with some, show topics is great. Coming up with show topics is really great, but not necessary. I'm perfectly capable of that, but also being able to take a topic. If I were to say, hey, I want to talk about, how the actual strip clubs are now going bankrupt because of the mass amount of OF and porn out there. I want to understand if that's a real thing, if that's just internet legend, if these girls are just not wanting to work in strip clubs because they can make more money in doing OF or actual porn. And then on the other side of that, I want to talk about, and we're going to talk about probably tomorrow night about the state of Tennessee. My state just made it very difficult to watch internet porn. You have to authorize yourself as 18 with a they use a AI to you upload a picture, and it basically calculates your age to see if you're most likely over 18, and they require, and if it's undecided, they require an ID.
If I was a teenager, I would do something stupid and print out like a face pic of my dad and just hold it in front of my face.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be something. You guys got the old link, Raging? Wrong. That's the old link.
Well, that's kind of what my friends did when like Face ID was like first coming out. Apparently, only really detected like the movement of the eyes to make sure it's not a static photo. So we took a photo of our friend and just cut out the eyeballs and put it over our face, and we were able to like unlock his phone.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm not really up on all of the coolness, but it is a thing where in Tennessee right now, if you try and access a adult entertainment site, you cannot do it without and what they really want is they want a form of ID, driver's license, credit card, something like that. And so if you're under age 18, you're probably not. Yeah, you can't watch. They made it very difficult to watch pornography in Tennessee. Now, obviously, I think you can defeat it with a VPN, but I haven't tried because I haven't actually tried either direction. But I would assume that you could defeat it with a VPN, but maybe not. I don't know how sophisticated Tennessee is doing this. And the thing is that the so if an 18-year-old an under 18-year-old gets caught using the site, the 18-year-old doesn't get punished, but the site does.
Okay.
So they are way invested in trying to figure out whether you're actually 18 or not right now. $5 comes in from ZD Den. Words of wisdom from Billy Joel. Don't go changing to try and please me. You never let me down before. Yeah, okay. I can't really sing. I don't know why I did that.
So
thank you very much, CD Dan. I really appreciate that. I won't actually change. I'm just trying to refine.
yeah,
I like refining.
Rolling back to like the original, like the last thought that you had. So if you're able to hire all the people in a certain spot to like run your show, you mentioned a producer. Is there anything else on that list?
Yeah. All right. So producer, some form of either like graphic artist or
Or like video editor.
Editor, you know, somebody that watches every show that can mark shorts. You know, that's kind of an all-in-one kind of video content guy, right?
Yeah.
And then let's see. And a producer I would almost have to kind of be a co-host as well, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
Then I need a mod wrangler. One of the things that we had early on was we had some mods get out of hand, and because I wasn't really paying attention to them. So, but the mods right now are awesome. We've got awesome mods. So,
yeah, actually, let's. Hey, Michigan Christian.
Hey, good evening, guys.
Oh, his mic is turned down really low. Let me boost that for you. Here we go. Try again.
Testing.
Is it just me or is he really low?
It's a little better.
I could try adjusting on my end too.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Okay.
What else? I don't know. You know, there's it would be a staff, right? Like, it would be great to have somebody that could, at some point, if it got to that point, somebody that could be kind of like a Mr. E, right? Be the, Mr. E runs the fan. You know, the Crucible's not Andrew's creation.
Yeah.
Mr. E created it. And so he runs it, and he runs, he does a lot of the artwork. He does a lot of, Mr. E does
pretty much everything.
Yeah, he does a lot.
He's either the guy who does it or he finds somebody to do it.
Right.
And that's kind of the role of a producer is like they're essentially the head honcho. They make sure that everybody's doing their job right.
Yeah. And so and then so that could actually just be the producer kind of fulfill that role, but and then I would need I feel like I would need a talent person, right? A person to go out, find guests, talk to people, and basically more like a content editor, right? Because the person is the content.
Yeah.
And so whether you're curating an article on Tennessee's new child corn law, or you're curating Hypnotic from the Hypnocast, trying to get that guy to come on, either one of those, it's still the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, are you looking to expand on using more like sound clips, short clips, things like that. Like
I would love to. Like
Yeah.
Mosman, that's one of the things that Mosman was talking about, was being able to have sound and video clips ready. See, I have some, right? But I don't ever, like hang on, let me let's see what we got here. I've got let's see. Well, the problem is I don't have them set up as slides. That's an interest. So I don't even know how to do that. So like when I have to share my screen every time I want to share like a picture or something. So that's suboptimal. I have video clips. I have a few video clips. Some of them I've uploaded, but some of them I haven't.
Oh, a random thought that I kind of want to get out there.
Sure, man.
So, have you ever thought about doing like tribute videos of like some of your racing crew or anything like that?
Not really. I didn't. So I've never really been a camera person, and so I never really. I have very few pictures of the cars I've built. I have very few pictures, or I have very few video, or very little video left of the seasons of in-car footage. I have almost nothing left because I didn't
All right.
care anything about it. It's
Yeah.
just like,
It's a thought I had a while ago. I want to throw it out there before I forget.
Yeah. But I mean, I have tons of friends who would send me video if I asked them. I'd be like, "Hey, man, I could use some in-car video at Sebring," and they would send it to me, or whatever. So,
Another thing, are you wanting to expand this channel to eventually be something like a like to do in-person interviews and podcasts, or are you looking to just kind of stick exclusively online as just kind of like a character, a talk show host?
that's a tough one to answer. Yes, it could be expanded to be online or in-person interviews for sure. I even have a facility here that I can use to do that without any problem at all. I mean, it'd be super easy. But that is to me, that's so far down the road that I can't see it.
Like,
How about expanding to other platforms?
Like
oh yeah.
There's like obviously there's Rumble. Also you could have it. Yeah, I mean, there's other platforms like that. There's also up and coming platforms.
I say get on X.
Yeah, there's X. There's even like some of the old Twitch streamers and stuff. I say old, I don't mean that, but like what is it, like Kick or something? There's like other platforms that are available that would be good to collaborate with. There's also up and coming platforms. Like I know about this thing, OnlyFans TV. It's not for porn. It's actually for like their exclusive sort of HBO style of channel that they're trying to build. And of course they have all the corn money behind it to drive it. That's just going to be a fucking sound business decision, no matter fucking what, is to write all the corn money into relevance.
Perfectly well. So I used to stream every show to Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, and something else.
Odyssey.
Odyssey? No, it may have just been those three. I thought it was one more. I don't know. And so I have the accounts. I just I don't actually do anything with them anymore because first of all, Rumble, the audience size is so low. Twitch and Rumble, the audience size was so low, and it's so cumbersome to use. I was just like, this sucks. I don't actually want to even be a part of this.
You won't get burned by the algorithm though. That's a plus.
Yeah, depending on the topics, Twitch can just outright
I don't know that that's true. I think
no. I mean, I'm Rumble.
Yeah, X. I used to stream to X. That's where it was. So the problem with, and I used to stream to Facebook. Facebook's actually easy to stream, but it just doesn't. It doesn't. Nobody watches anything on Facebook, so who cares? Twitch is. I never got anything out of Twitch except for people asking me to pay them to bring me viewers.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I'm not going to do that. And then on the other side, and Rumble was kind of the same thing. I would get 2 or 3 viewers, and then what really sealed Rumble for me is, you've got Beaten Cheeks, who's been on Rumble forever. He is a total Rumble dude, and we would be live having a great podcast, and he'd have like 8 viewers, and he'd been on there for like a year or 2, and that was terrible, man. Like it was actually kind of hurt my feelings a little bit for Cheeks, because he made such a great show, put a lot of effort into it, and to have like nobody there and no way of finding him. The biggest problem with Rumble is it's very difficult to find people. So realistically, most of the people that found me on Rumble were finding me on YouTube first and then going to Rumble. So, but there's nothing that I can say on Rumble that I can't say on YouTube.
There is still going to be a very big arms race for the content platform that we're going to see like actively unfold. In the coming 2 years.
It's going to be a race to the bottom, I think, because Rumble is already Rumble started last year, maybe. Yeah, Rumble started.
It was kind of 2023.
Yeah, I know when I'm talking about when they started to. So originally it was like the Wild West, anything goes. This is the place you want to be, and it's been going more and more like YouTube, like basically every week. So, and it doesn't have the SEO. It doesn't have it's just not YouTube. And so it's tough. It's a tough sell for me to be on Rumble. Like I won't even watch anything. Like I'll try to watch something on Rumble, and the user interface and just everything, the fucking ads, the way it plays the ads, and I have a membership there, and it still plays those fucking ads, is so annoying. Like I can't take it. And then Twitch, I just don't like Twitch. Oh, I like Twitch. I think
either.
Rumble does have super chat capability. I'm not.
Yes.
Oh,
they call it something different, like stickers or something.
Twitch. Twitch will just ban you because you're conservative. They don't even bother hiding the fact that they hate, conservative channels. They just don't ban. They don't bother hiding it. I'm actually shocked that I'm able to say the things I say on Prime's channel and him not get censored over it. But I guess if he's so far left that it's okay. But anyway, I don't know. At this point, it's YouTube's world. Everybody else is just kind of flailing around in it. So I wish it wasn't that way. I mean, to be honest with you, to be honest, my hope would be is that YouTube would feel threatened, and to some degree they have been. They're threatened enough by everyone that I feel like the YouTube's basically slacking or not really slacking off, because the rules are still in effect, but they've been more fair about how they're enforced than I think they ever have been. So
I would agree with that. The thing is, though, it ultimately comes down to cash flow and money. So as long as your channel's like profitable to them, they'll usually keep you around.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. Tell that to Pearl. Like,
and Crowder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crowder's still on YouTube.
Is he? I
Yeah.
thought he went to
He
Rumble.
can't make money on his own content on YouTube. Neither can Pearl. Other
Uh,
people can flip them and make money off their content, but they can't.
Are
Yeah.
ads still running on their content?
I
doubt it.
don't.
Like not saying that they make money from the ads, but are
Right,
ads
right.
still running?
I don't
I don't know.
know
I
actually.
don't see
I have
ads.
premium, so I don't notice that. But I do know like Pearl cannot be monetized. I think they run the ads either way. It's just whether or not you get the ad revenue, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's about how much YouTube is making. So even if they're not
Right.
making revenue, YouTube would be. And the thing is that to run a stream like Crowder and Pearl, like per month, it's probably costing them between like 8 to 12 grand minimum. So it's like they got to be pulling some monies elsewhere, or else it's just a money drop for YouTube.
Well, they have their own like mug club and subscription stuff, things that they
yeah,
do internally.
But they're not paying that. I'm talking about YouTube as the corporation running the stream.
Yeah, so we saw what happened with Destiny, right? Destiny made a massive error in judgment, and he got banned from X for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and really they didn't even ban him; they just demonetized him for that. And the same thing happened on Kick. Whereas anybody else, they would have been gone
for sure.
Yeah.
And so, but he's lost so much audience that next time maybe, right? It may, I just don't look. First of all, I don't count on the monetization from YouTube beyond the super chats and which I can do outside of YouTube and the memberships. The only two things I care about as far as YouTube goes is the fact that I can the memberships I think are worthwhile, and I need to actually one of the things I don't do well enough is to grift the memberships, and I've got to sit down and update all of the membership stuff so that people will feel great about being a member. The second thing that the second thing I care about as far as YouTube goes is the super chats, because obviously that is where between the super chats and the memberships, that's where all of the money that's made on this channel comes from. If I make $5 a month off of YouTube ad revenue, I'm fucking thrilled. So
Okay.
I don't know how that's I don't remember what Destiny said, old Joe. It had something to do with like I forget what it was. Somebody can find it though. It'll be funny. $9.99 from Wrongful Rage. Mug Club pays most of their rev, then Rumble. They, I believe, are in a legal battle with YouTube. Could be wrong. I think you're right, and I think that and YouTube's changing, right? Like YouTube is YouTube's changing as far as the way that they count revenue and all of that. With so many creators going outside of YouTube and working around them through Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Dono Chat, all of these other Cash App, Zelle, all of these other ways to get paid. YouTube's is effectively trying to understand how to change their model to make it work. Yeah, I believe that you're right, Stephen Aker. So I don't know. But if I were going to have a staff, that would be it. I'd have a headhunter, I'd have a really good producer, and I'd probably have someone that was like super effective at video editing, clipping, all of that, which could also be the producer. But it's hard. What I've noticed is the people who have producers that are also doing their clips, it's very, very hard for the producer to pay enough attention during the show to be able to put in the clip points and run the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So it's really those are two different things that need to happen at the same time. So,
Can I just offer some feedback on the conversation you and Tiki Tac have had for a little bit?
yeah. Silvar Ogre, I do not endorse deficit spending, so I praise you for sticking to your debt ceiling. I'm sorry. What did you say, MC?
I think Tiki Tac's point about your work with cars in the past, I think could be useful in showing some of that. I think a lot of people want to know a little bit about your history and things you may have done. Plus, I think it'd be interesting to the audience as well. So, I mean, if you could find video of things you've done or whatever, I think that would be valuable. I also think that the women thing, I don't think you're going to. This is going to sound bad. I don't think you're ever going to have a large women audience, and I think that
I don't think I have a large one now.
I think Flow State's got some because of just his personality. I think maybe it attracts women more, but you have conversations at Clover Tack about guns. There's no women that are going to hang around with that. There's the content itself, I think, lends it more interesting to men.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. And let me I guess put this into context, right? What I see is like I'm in the whatever Discord. There's a lot of women there that watch every moment of whatever. They love the things that I say there. When they come here, they don't necessarily watch this show until the end. And part of that originally was we had Simpson here.
Yeah.
We had, it was not a female friendly environment.
No, you know what it is? It's the drama. We don't like the drama. We don't want the drama here, but you got lots of drama on whatever.
I'm a relatively drama-free zone.
Yeah.
I'm sure Michelle will agree that I kind of keep it as drama-free as possible.
Yep.
I every once in a while go on those drama streams, but like 90% of the time I tune it out. It's just, why do you want to dedicate any sort of like memory or brain power to to navigate that kind of stuff? It just seems like a waste of time.
Well, it's entertaining, right? It's like soap operas. Who watches soap operas? Women.
Yeah.
So I think focusing on women, I don't blame you for wanting to try to. I just don't think that you're going to be able to while sticking to yourself.
Yeah, let's walk that back a little bit, because I never said I wanted to focus on women. I never said that. I'm simply saying that up until now, hey, Wrongful Rage, what's up, buddy? We're getting I see you, or we're getting a raid here. Did I miss a raid? We got a raid coming in. All right. Well, we got a super chat coming in. All right, let me grab that. Corrupt Admin, welcome, sir. Welcome. Michelle is back. Michelle never left. $9.99. Oh wait, that's already seen it. Already seen it.
Well, you haven't seen this yet.
I endorse Tiki Tac as the headhunter mod. He has a reputation with the left and right debate bros and the crucible. That is a solid point, Angel Berber, and that would be cool. VO Pod raid up in the joint. How about that? All right, very cool, guys. Very, very cool.
Something else that Tiki Tac didn't mention is what about Man on the Street? Have you ever thought about that?
I'm sorry?
Man on the Street? Like
no.
Man on the Street interviews? No, don't want to do that.
That's gay. That's the dumbest shit I've ever watched in my life. Like I can't get into that at all. Even when Glenn does it, as much testosterone as he has, it comes off gay. So, just can't do it. No, there's just no way to do man on the street properly. So I just won't do it. I really don't have any like any desire. I would probably be very comfortable doing interviews. Like I can do live interviews. I'm actually really good. I think with live interviews. Gun tuber women, yeah. I see that's the thing. See, I know. Like I'm trying to get Lanny Barnes to come on the show. Lanny Barnes is an Olympian, and she was a biathlete, which means that she did shooting while skiing, which is awesome. I've shot with her many times before. She has a great life story, but she's super busy. So, I'm trying to get her to come on the show. I can probably get Lena Mikulik on the show. She actually lives not too far from me now, so I might even be able to get her in person. She shoots for SIG. There's I actually know a lot of like pretty super cool female, and I mean, like I'm positive I can get. I could get Shay Holbrook, who is a race car driver who now owns a race team, and she's pretty cool. I used to think she was just fluff, but she's actually got a backbone. She's pretty cool. Let's see who. I mean, I know a lot of really accomplished women. So I could do a once a month kind of show like that. I wouldn't want to do it like every week or every other week or anything, but once a month probably be okay. What do you think, Michelle?
Trying to put together those ladies' nights are actually very difficult. So like once a month is a good thing to shoot for. It really is. It's awful.
Well,
really
we would be picking the less. I mean, they're feminine, but kind of less feminine.
Yeah.
But basically, like Lanny Barnes is hilarious. Lanny Barnes has a twin named Tracy Barnes. They look so much alike that I actually spent 5 minutes talking to Tracy, thinking I was talking to Lanny. And she went along with it. She was just totally like, yeah, hey, how are you? Are you okay? How's your wife? And I'm like, you're not Lanny.
You never know when we're going to slip into character and be duplicitous like that,
Right. And they're great people. They're truly awesome people. And I actually know a lot of truly awesome women. And so I could have, and I probably should reach out to them more. So
I think that might actually be a good contrast as well with your name known in like the whatever space, and they talk to degenerate women. Well,
Yeah.
how about you start interviewing like awesome women?
Truly awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You know that when I first started shooting competitively, it was, you knew that you were doing well as a male shooter if you could beat Lena Mikulik, because she was usually the top female. So if you could beat her, that meant that you were in like top 10, and that was your goal, was to beat her because she was like right there. And now she does. I don't know if she can win, but she can do pretty. She does pretty well. I like her a lot. She's a little weird, it's that Louisiana thing, but other than that, she's pretty cool. So yeah.
Well, I just thought about
Your
Sorry, I had
bed?
to mute my. No, my voice has been kind of bad because I had a cold for a couple weeks. But would Andrew let you interview Rachel?
Yeah, so I'm actually supposed to interview Andrew. I just haven't yet. There's been a couple of reasons for that, but and I could have Rachel on the show, and it could be more. It could be like an interview for sure. It may not be exactly an interview.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to draw in more women, you have Rachel on.
Yeah, Rachel will be cool. Rachel for sure is cool. So yeah, I think that, you know, again, it's a goal. It's not a military objective. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to torch the entire rest of the show just so we can get 3 more women.
Honestly, I think ultimately that's what you're gonna have to do if you want women to be coming here on a regular basis.
I don't know. Maybe. What do you think, Michelle? You're a woman.
I think there's a really big lag. Yeah, I think there's a really big lag in my video, and it's distracting my woman brain. And I want to like sign off.
I've noticed that you've been kind of lagging.
You have the
like freeze up a little bit once in a while.
Yeah, it's annoying. So I think
it's kind of
Rachel
cool
would be,
though when you like.
She's bug boys.
Mm-hmm.
She like freezes.
It's, cool. Mm-hmm. It's like taking forever to catch up too. It's like, oh, yeah. No.
ZD Dan, I was so proud of my wife the other day because she literally said "Wah man," pronounced the AH in "Wah man." So it was very funny. I'm not gonna. The context is irrelevant, but it was hilarious. Very funny.
Hey, Grid, I do have a few names for you. I don't know. They are names I'm sure you've heard of, at least 2 of them, but one of them you got to wait for him to get out of jail. It's Tommy Robinson. He does go on some smaller channels, and I know there's some people that hate him, but he does have an interesting story to tell.
Okay.
Next would be Seamus Coughlin.
Nice.
He used to co-host the Timcast IRL.
Okay.
He's a Catholic conservative, and he runs Freedom Tunes, which is a cartoon thing.
I know a lot about Freedom Tunes. That would be a great guest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's kind of low under the radar, so not a lot of people know him. Outside of the Timcast and Freedom Tunes crowd.
Yeah.
And lastly would be Mark Dice. I don't see him collaborate a lot with the sphere that we're in, but he's been around long enough.
I really want to go outside the sphere. Like I honestly do not get excited really at all about having another person in this space come on the channel, because it's going to be the same conversation. It's going to be, although I really try to not have those conversations, right? Like I get away from red pill this, black pill that. I don't, that these are things that these guys talk about day in, day out. And I just I don't really want to talk to them about it. Like there are much better things to talk to them about. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting, I really like, like I would love to have Hypnotic on, because he's a gamer guy that's definitely, tech oriented, but he's also like super conservative. I would love to have that dude on. So, now he doesn't cam up except he cams up in like a robot mask or something, but
it'd be cool if you could have Asmongold on, but he's kind of huge, so I don't know. He's always super busy.
Kind of weird too.
He is a little weird, but he's weird in a cool way. It's yeah.
I bet I could get I could get an interview with Jerry Mikulik.
Who?
The Jerry Mikulik. He owns a bunch of world record shooting goals, I guess.
Okay.
Events. Yeah. He's the man. When they say the man, they mean Jerry Mikulik. So, but yeah, it's a it's an interesting thing. I mean, this is all kind of academic, but yeah, guys, it's been a year. As I look back over it, it's been awesome. It would be really great. It'd be really great to going forward to get some of these guys on to accomplish some of the goals that we've talked about, and really just kind of make things happen, so to speak. I still need to I need to have like, and there are interviews that I need to do just in my kind of the crowd I run with. I really haven't sat down with Teriak and talked to him about how he came to be where he is, why he has kind of moved away from being a memester, which is what he was really known for, into more of the debate bro realm, right? Like I really want to have that conversation with him. I got to have Mikey Balls up here and talk to him about losing his leg and how he fought back on that. And the dude's had a life, man. I want to hear about his life. And there are really just a lot of people in our community that have great stories to tell that if you listen and they're asked in the right way and you hear what they say, they're going to really inspire you and they're really going to talk to you. At least you're gonna have a great story, right? At least that's gonna be it. And there's no as much as I enjoy talking points and things like that, I would, individuals are the best example of everything that we can do in life, right? Like when you see somebody that was living on the street and they got that one chance and they took it and they made it happen. That might change your entire life. It may not. I don't know. It may make you even more I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I'm tired. Michelle, you are still very choppy.
I desperately need a new computer. What I have is 8 years old. I have upgraded my computer, my sound, absolutely everything. This is the last piece that I need.
Yeah. I had to do that earlier this year too, because it's kind of the same problem. So.
Yes, I have.
Michelle, if you were going to kind of narrow, and I'm kind of winding down now, but if you were to, from an outsider looking in, if there was something that I could work on that would make a massive difference, what would you say that would be?
For the channel,
or personally, either way, you can hurt me. You can just stab me in the back. That's fine. I'm just kidding.
You would never. Oh my god. I think it really is coming down to getting organized and getting yourself the help that you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's
I think your message is good. I think the show is good. I think people definitely want to hear what you have to say. I think your voice in the space is needed. And you just got to let the people that, are ready to stand behind you and, keep pushing through even when it's challenging and slow. And it is kind of a weird time right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Ticky Tack? You've been a member of the audience for a while.
I think I should be your producer.
I need a job, and you need to give me that job. Make it so. Well, we'll talk about that. There's potential there. You're on almost as much as I am.
Yeah, I just can't really make the mornings. Right. I could be around, but I can't be on. But the evenings, I'm always open.
Maybe we've got a Bo Snerdley here. All right. So you know what, guys? We're actually well past quitting time. I was giving Michelle an opportunity to try and get her interwebs to work. So
it's better, right?
No, it is better. It is better. You are only freezing like every third or fourth frame, but it is cool because you were like, we just caught you like this.
Yeah, it's still super laggy.
Yeah, it's a computer thing. I need a new computer bad.
Are you doing like Grid was, running on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
I am.
Don't do that. That's a problem.
I need to be able to move.
$9.99 comes in from the Wrongful Rage. I'm hitting the dusty trail. You all have a great night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be blessed. I too am going to hit the dusty trail. I'm actually not going to go too far. I'm going to go over to Verbal Combat, and I'm going to kick some dudes in the nuts or something like that. And we're going to have some fun over there till probably for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I'm going to go to bed. For you guys, Grin, you know what, Mikey Balls, let's. I'm on tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel, same bat dad. So you'll be able to find me right here. To all the rest of my wonderful audience, it's been a year. If you've been here pretty much the whole time, I salute you, and we'll have a great year coming up. Really thankful for all the people I've met in this space, even the people who pissed me off and made me want to rip out their spines through their head. And yeah, it's cool. A good time. Flow State is live. Well, let me. Somebody got a link. I need a link.
I got you.
You got me? All right.
I got you.
Is that where the Verbal Combat is?
No, Verbal Combat's over on Easies, but people don't like to go to Easies too much. And so I respect the audience, I do. I respect the audience,
I'll go over there and watch it.
Yeah, you're welcome to. It's just some people just would prefer not to, and I respect that, and I get it. He came into the show a couple of weeks ago, and he kind of he said some stuff, but it was but that's fine. He doesn't have to come over here.
I didn't hear about this. Now I understand.
Basically, he came over and he did that thing that he does where he says, I think who did I have up? I had somebody up. It was, I guess they're on Flow State's on Sarah's channel. So Sarah is live. I can't make everybody happy. I know people like Sarah either. But so I can't make everybody happy, but I do think we'll throw Flow State a little love. I like that guy. He's okay. And I will. But yeah, I'm. Is that the right link? Is that? Let me see that.
It's to Flow State. So, do you need Sarah's link?
No. Well, I had Sarah's. I don't know why Flow State's link didn't come up when I searched it. This is easy to fix.
Yeah, Mike Ball, I think, is right, and I think lately he's seemed a little bit more emotional. I don't know if he's got something going on, but he kind of snapped at people on his own channel the other day. I was a little surprised.
Who's that?
Easy.
Oh yeah, he's got something going on. He came at me pretty hard, and then he didn't. There wasn't any real reason to. Then he came into the channel and came at me pretty hard. I don't, So here's the thing. I don't give a fuck. Everybody has a bad day. It's all cool. Angel Berber, Flow State got his ass handed to him. Yeah, you know what? I could see that. Flo's not a very good debater. I mean, he's okay. He doesn't suck. But Jay Tyre's that's literally that's like me practice martial arts 38 fucking years ago, stepping in the ring with the Brazilian jiu-jitsu master that works out every single fucking day. I'm going to get my nuts ripped off and handed to me. It's just the way it's going to go. But yeah, give him credit for punching up. Absolutely. Punch up, Flo. Punch up. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Where's my, hang on. I'm not ready. I'm normally ready, but I'm not ready. I'm sorry. Just calm down. Be okay.
Just want to say thanks for having me upgrade.
Hey, no problem, Michigan Christian. I appreciate you being up. I appreciate you being mostly sober as well.
I am always sober.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right. I thought I had you up one time and you were fairly not sober, but maybe that was somebody else.
Yeah.
I get a lot of people. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your night. Be cool. Wear glasses if you need them. Get the fuck.
If you marry somebody and neither one of you have anything and you build $300 million together, you deserve half. But Johnny was $300 million in when they met, and I'm quite sure she knew. And Johnny, hey, I'm Johnny. She was like, I know who you are, motherfucker. And they got married, broke up, shit didn't work out, and then he had to give $150 million of his money. And don't get me wrong, ladies, I know a lot of housewives sitting out there going, well, you can't put a price on what I do. But ladies, if you marry a man with $300 million, you ain't no regular housewife. You ain't got to clean the house no more. You get a maid. You ain't cleaning shit. You married a man with $300 million, you ain't cooking no more, you eating out. You married a man with $300 million, you know how a lot of housewives got to get jobs on the side to help make ends meet? He got $300 million, the ends are meeting like a motherfucker. What you gonna do, get a job at a boutique on the weekends and shit? Say, here, Johnny, I made $70, put that with the rest. Now we have $300 million and $70, because I want to do my share. No, all you have to do, you married a man with $300 million, is fuck your husband. That's it, that's your job. Fuck your husband, that's it. That's just fuck your husband. You fill out a W-2. They say, what you do? You say, I fuck my husband. That's it. And I've had my share of pussy. I have yet. Even if the pussy was great and sparks shot out the woman's ass and cannons bled and the mountains crumbled and the seas roared, no pussy is worth $150 million. No pussy. So be careful. Don't get caught in the trap. Any woman can get any man she wants. If she puts her mind and pussy to it, they can have you. Because they have figured us out. We're very